We're going to crank it up in a minute. Get settled. Grab yourself a pen, a piece of paper. Put your phone, take notes. Showtime. The business behind marriage, money, love, the next generation wealth. Are you sleeping with the enemy? Are you sleeping naked? We're going to crank it up in a minute.
Now listen, your true beauty is the scripture. Looks so good that it hurts. You were down, that's 99, and it's a shame. Don't even know what you learned. Have you ever gone this time for Did you better show? From your head to your toes, out of control. Baby, you know.
The business behind marriage. That's what we're talking about tonight. Are you building wealth? Are you protecting your money?
If you know you're a star, ladies, let me see your hands in the air. And wait, let me be the one to give you everything you want and need. Baby, you love and possession. Make me your own. Show you the way love supposed to be. Baby, you should let me.
We're going live in a minute. Shazam! We're talking about the business behind marriage. How to build wealth, how to protect your money, how to keep your money out of the hands of financial predators. It's going to be a wild night tonight, I tell you. Woo! You're working 40 years of your life. Are you going to throw away your money? Are you going to constantly resetting yourself? The business behind marriage. Love, money, wealth, the next generation. It's all about the money. All right. Let's crank it up now, man. All right, folks, how we doing tonight? How we doing? Yes. Nice to see a lot of you guys tuning in tonight. I'm on 3-4 different social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and my live camcorder recording. So tonight is going to be very interesting. You know, when I decided to put together this show, I said, I'm going to piss a lot of people off. And that's okay. That's what life is about. You can't please everybody. I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I'm going to make a lot of people happy. And I'll make a lot of people sad. And a lot of people wish they actually met me before. Because I'm actually, a lot of you guys may be in a situation that you wish if you had this information ahead of time, you'd have been protected, you'd be in a better financial position, and you wouldn't be in such drama or disaster you're going through right now. What I want to talk about is from my years of experience. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an average guy like most of you, trying to build wealth and create and protect my wealth so the next generation can have a better life than I did and we did. You know, that's what it's about, right? This says only a fool allow his youngs to duplicate his past mistakes. So only a foolish person will allow their kids to duplicate their past mistakes. So if you work hard and you have to go to school and you end up with student loans and all this kind of stuff, and you have to pay hundreds of thousands back in student loans, and you have the opportunity to change that in the next generation, which is your kids, and you let them do the same thing, you're a fool. Only a fool allow the young or the next generation to repeat the same mistakes they made in the past. So I guess for us as parents or leaders, community leaders, is our objective or should be our obligation to put things in place so the next generation don't have to duplicate our past mistakes. All right, so let's crank it up now. We're talking about the business behind marriage. So like everything else, I'm gonna give you the history of marriage and all that stuff. Then we can fast forward what they did in the past. We can fast forward to what we're currently doing and all the mistakes we're making today and how we can protect that from happening to the kids in the future, or so on and so on and so on. Okay, you get me? Good. So historically, I'm talking about years upon years back, every community, culture, creed, kind, generation had what we call arranged marriages. Okay? Every culture, creed, kind had arranged marriage. Marriage was only done when it got arranged. So who arranged marriage? Normally your family, your father, mother, and community leaders, they combine and they find a match for you. But before the community get involved, there was bloodlines. Family was the first to protect the bloodlines. In order to protect the bloodline, and the reason why they used to do that, there used to be a lot of disease in the world that they didn't understand back then. Okay, so people died from a toothache or a pneumonia or something like that. So disease was all over the place. They don't understand. Doctors weren't available like we are today. So people would die from pneumonia, something that simple. So if a family have a history of sickness, nobody want to get married to that family. So family was protecting their bloodline from disease multiplying. So what they would do, they marry within the family. Yes, that's what arranged marriage happened. They marry within the family. So two brothers would get together and they marry their kids together. Because the neighbor family had disease and they didn't want to bring that disease over their family because they didn't understand how to treat disease back then. So marriage, then done inter-family first. Now they look down upon inter-family marriage and they go outside. Some cultures still practice inter-family marriage today. Okay? So once we have stuff like antibiotic and different antibacterial cure came out, we no longer really need to do inter-family marriage to protect the bloodline. Okay? Then we start looking at marriage as a sense of wealth. Wealth to protect money, because money now becomes a part of, or wealth becomes a part of human knowledge, human practices. People want to become rich, want to become wealthy. So in order to protect money now, we start picking, again, arranged marriage again, we start picking daughters and sons for our kids. Okay? So rich guy would find another rich guy and they'll marry their kids together. So to protect the wealth, to transfer wealth, they marry to transfer wealth again. That's another thing that they get married for. To expand businesses, they'll get married to expand business as well. Yeah, I'm talking about donkeys upon years ago. Business monopoly. Marriage was done for business monopoly as well. So what happened if I own a gas station in town, Tom owns a gas station across town, we marry our kids to create a monopoly to protect the business. So no one can come and compete with us business-wise, and we create monopoly and run that town for the next 50 plus 100 years. So marriage was done in wealth, to protect wealth. Okay? Once the world becomes very wealthy, money became available to mass people, we have a different level of marriage now. We got married for education purposes. So two parents who get together, one is a doctor, one is a nurse, one is a lawyer. They marry their kids for status, education status. Yes, they get married for education status. Like, you guys change this stuff every 20, 30, 40, 50 years. The desire for marriage change. The objective change. Okay? So people only want to marry their kids to other people who are educated. So money wasn't as important anymore. Now it's about education. So smart people want to marry the kids to smart people. So what happened to all the dumb people? They get pushed aside. Nobody wants to marry them. Then rich people, when they want to marry the kids, the other rich people kids. What happened to people who were poor? They never got married. They never got married. Never got married. Why? Because historically, marriage was put together to build family, to build wealth, protect family, protect wealth. A broke person has no money. He or she cannot take care of their family. They cannot build wealth. They cannot do none of those things. So they never really got married. They never really got married. And then it changed. They all changed. So listen, health priorities got devalued. Wealth priorities got devalued. Guess what's next? Education priorities got devalued as well. Can you imagine? Remember I tell you, every 30, 40, 50 years, you change what you're looking for, or what the reason why we do this marriage stuff, right? So education now got devalued. Now people are getting married because why? They like each other. They love each other. They're thinking of each other. So money doesn't matter. Health doesn't matter. Education doesn't matter today. You get married for whatever we want to get married for. Rich getting married to poor, poor getting married to sick, sick getting married to unhealthy, and the whole list of things goes on. Okay? Now, another thing has happened over the years as well, and which probably contribute towards this transition. Women were put into the workforce, which was good. So because women put in the workforce now, there was more money in circulation, more wealth, more contribution towards the household. So the marriage process goes on. Because we change our lifestyle and desire in life now, some things never changed. And what's never changed is your ability to take care of your family. So whether it was 1,000 years ago or today, people still look at successful men as financial targets. People still want their daughters to marry to successful men. That has not changed. All culture right across the board hasn't changed. Some cultures don't really care. They're married to losers. They don't care. They have kids for losers. They don't care. But some cultures do care. They want their kids to have kids with successful people to protect the next generation. And that's important. Now, because we can get married today, divorce tomorrow, change our mind the next day, and so on, we are emotionally unstable as a large group of people, all culture right across the board. We're emotionally unstable. So people getting married today and say, I want to divorce tomorrow. Why? I'm not happy. Well, you didn't know you wouldn't be happy with this person 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And we all make that mistakes. They weren't happy. So they move on. Now, the problem is, every time you divorce or separate from a strong financial obligation, I call it the reset. You hit the reset button, you want to start over again. Okay? It pushes you back 5 to 10 years. So it puts you back financially 5 to 10 years. So you constantly resetting. So if you reset 3 times of your life, some people divorcing 5 and 10 times over their lifetime, 3, 4, 5 lifetime, you're going to die broke. You won't be able to build wealth because every time you divorce or separate and you split your asset into 2, you start back at ground zero again, or you paying double for the same thing. So if you bought a house years ago for $500,000, you pay that mortgage down to $250,000 or even $100,000 mortgage balance. You reset, you split the money, you buy a house, your wife or husband buy a house. Now you're buying a house at $1 million. You get the drift? So now you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s. but you starting off with a $700,000-$800,000 mortgage balance because you reset too many times. And that's the problem with society today. We are not marrying or getting involved in relationships and staying long enough. But we have strong financial commitment and financial obligations, but we're not staying committed long enough to play out those financial obligations. And because of that, it's costing us a fortune. So tonight we can talk about the business behind marriage. I'm going to give you ironclad strategies to build wealth, to protect your wealth, and transfer your wealth to the next generation. Rule number 1. And some of you guys already got yourself involved in a relationship, and this might not even apply to you. But rule number 1, folks, a prenuptial agreement. I think a prenuptial agreement is mandatory for every relationship today. Okay? A prenuptial agreement is mandatory for every relationship today. Now, or you can do a postnuptial agreement. A postnuptial agreement is done after you get married. Prenuptial agreement is done before you get married. Mandatory for every relationship today. Why? You have a lot of people getting involved in relationships with their own opinion, their own lifestyle choice, and their own objectives. So you guys are married, but your money is separate. Because he spent hers, she spent hers, or he spent his, she spent hers, and it's totally separate. Okay? That's the way marriage and relationships are operating today. It's not commingling of funds anymore like they used to have. So because of that now, different opinion, different financial objective can bring different separation as well. So prenuptial agreement is mandatory today in every relationship. If you didn't do it before, you should do it after. Postnuptial agreement. Now, as you decide to embark on a relationship with people today, you're going to hear a few things people are going to talk about. Number 1, they're going to say, well, I don't believe in prenuptial agreement. I believe in trust. People who love each other should trust each other, and we should live that way. BS. BS. Well, I believe in spirituality. I think people, if their marriage is ordained by God, they shouldn't have to worry about prenuptial agreement. BS. BS. Here's what's happening, folks. When you decide to get together with your husband or wife, you go to family counseling, you go to pastor counseling, you go to spiritual counseling, and all that stuff that brings you together. Good. Not a bad start. As soon as we hear the D word, the divorce word, everybody runs to the lawyer. Lawyers don't mend marriages. Lawyers don't bring people together. What lawyers do? Protect the money. Yeah, lawyers protect the money. More important, lawyers try to stir the pot up enough to get you upset at your wife, get you upset at your husband, get you guys fighting so they can crank more money out your pocket. That's what the lawyers do. Okay? Now, the other thing you'll find, the person that has the least amount of contribution toward the relationship, that means the one who's bringing the least amount of money in, always going to tell you, I don't believe in prenuptial agreement. Why? That person have nothing to lose. I would destroy a lot of relationships today. They have nothing to lose. So if I have nothing to lose, I can say whatever I want to say. So again, prenuptial agreement should be mandatory in every relationship today, or postnuptial agreement. Because if some folks are frank, the other thing you guys are not doing as well, you're not marrying as much as you used to. You're living together. If you're living together, you don't need to do a prenuptial agreement. You need to do what we call a cohabitation agreement. Okay? It's just a prenuptial without marriage. Okay? It does the same thing. It protects your asset. Because the other thing now as well, as you guys all know, after you live with a person common law for X amount of years, it's just like the marriage. So when you go to the court for a divorce or separation, they treat it like a marriage relationship, and they can split up your assets, just as much as just as well as you're married. Okay? The other thing what a prenuptial agreement does, it protects existing asset. It can even protect future assets before future assets even before you buy them. So for instance, because I'm a real estate guy, I'm using real estate as an example. Let's assume I own my own house. And I own maybe one investment property or two investment property. I decided I want to do a prenuptial agreement. It can clearly state, number one, my existing home I have cannot be part of the family arrangement. Cannot split it. So if my girlfriend and wife move in, and my girlfriend and wife move out a year or two after, can't touch my house. Can't touch my investment property. Can't touch it. Next thing, if I decide to buy 10 more properties, okay? This is law, folks. This is law. Not my law, this is law. If I decide to buy 10 more properties over the course of my relationship, guess what? Once I put it in that prenuptial agreement or cohabitation agreement, no one can touch it. Girlfriend can't touch it, wife can't touch it. Because your spouse, is signing off that they would not be financially interested in your future investments. That's how powerful a prenuptial agreement is. That's how powerful a cohabitation agreement is. It protects assets even before you even own it. If you know you're into business and you're constantly expanding your business, okay? The cohabitation, prenuptial agreement, protect your business. You open up 10 more locations. Your spouse cannot touch it. You're protecting your asset. And here's why you have to do stuff like this, folks. It's not because you want to outwit your spouse out of money. It's that as you expand your wealth estate and your spouse decide to become emotionally unstable, you don't want to have to close down 5 of your branches because your wife or husband want to leave. Does that make sense? If you're on a journey towards building wealth, you don't have to sell your properties or sell your real estate and split in half because your spouse want to become emotionally unstable. And that's how powerful a prenuptial agreement is, or cohabitation agreement. Again, I'm not a lawyer and I don't know your situation. If you sit with a lawyer, he or she can go to the details. Now, people said that sounds very expensive. No, it's not. These agreements can start anywhere from $1,500 up to $50,000 plus, depends on what you have assets wise. It's not very expensive. Very important. From $1,500 to $50,000+ on the high end, blah, blah, blah. Most of you guys wouldn't be the $50,000 range because I'm not sure how much assets you have, but that's talking about millions and multi-million dollars worth of assets. Then you get to that level. There's a lot more work for the lawyer to do. You have lots of businesses, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Okay? So it's very important. What else are we talking about now? You guys are commingling families together. You're commingling families together. You have husband have 3-4 kids, wife have 3-4 kids, you're coming together. A prenuptial agreement or cohabitation agreement specifies what each party's role going to be in when it comes to putting in this relationship. So that's very important. Now the problem is, I'm not concerned if you marry and you last 50 years together or even 25 years together. That's not a concern of mine. My concern is when you get married or you live with someone and you have a 1 year, 2 year, and the person who wants to leave or you want the person to leave. So when the short-term interruption that has great financial benefits, that's the problem today. It's not the 25, 30 years relationship. And you know the funny thing is, if you have a great relationship with the person you're with right now, life is good, you trust them, they trust you, things are going well, everything I say tonight, just totally ignore it. Okay? But if you starting off with somebody you just met, or you're trying to get to know them, or you're unsure because they might be emotionally or financially unstable, get a prenuptial or cohabitation agreement ASAP. ASAP. Okay? It protects your money. It protects you have to sell off your estate, sell off your property, close down your business, give them half of your RRSP, give them part of your retirement funds. You can protect your retirement funds with a prenuptial or postnuptial agreement. So again, it's $1,500 up to $50,000 to create these agreements to protect you. You have to start, if you're a wealth builder, you have to start put together your life like the rich people do. You see, rich people get divorced all the time. They don't go broke. Poor people get divorced all the time and they get broken and broke every single time. You have to position yourself like the rich do. Okay? Protect the money every single time. You're not trying to hide money from your spouse or outwit your spouse for money. What you're trying to avoid is a short-term interruption of relationship that costing you a fortune. And that's right across the board, male and female, because a lot of my female clients have a ton load of assets. Tons of actually almost every one of my female clients have a lot of assets, ton load of money. And I would dread to see somebody come in their life for 1 year and 2 years and disrupt what they're trying to build. Okay? So again, very important. Next, term insurance. Term insurance. And I did a video before on term insurance. I'm going really short with term insurance. If you are building wealth, building a business, or you're buying real estate investments, you need to get term insurance. The term insurance should model the length of your mortgage. So rather than going mortgage insurance, you do term insurance. And right now we're doing 25 years amortization. You put your term insurance for 35 years. 35 years term insurance, 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, something like that. You don't need whole life or universal life insurance. You need short-term life insurance, because I'm assuming in 25 to 30 years, your estate can be so big you won't need insurance anymore. That's very important. Term insurance, the life or extended life of your mortgage. So not focus on that too much. You need wills. Get yourself a will put together. A will for your family. Now, 2 forms of will you need. You need a will. You also need a will not. So here's the thing that you guys don't realize. You can put together a will. Let's assume you have 5 kids. You put together a will, and you have one unruly son that pisses you off. And you decide not to put that one son in your will, but the other 4 kids inside the will. When you passed on, that unruly son can come after your estate, claiming an inheritance from your estate. Why? Because he or she is your son or daughter. The unruly child can come after your estate. Okay? Because it's a part of your bloodline, and he or she can put a lien on your estate and lock it up into court for years. So how you protect that? It's something called a will not. A will not is a simple document stating who will not participate in your estate. Very simple. A will not. Will and a will not. Okay? You have to specify. Ex-spouse that have kids for you, specify he or she will not participate in that estate, because they're part of your bloodline or some form of relation with an ex-wife, ex-husband. They can put a lien on your estate claiming things. Okay? These are the rich put together family planning. Okay? Any form of interaction, common law spouse you live with for 4 years or 3 years, put a name in there. He or she will not benefit from my estate. You guys never heard this before, wouldn't you? It's crazy. It needs to be very clear. Will not benefit from your estate. And that's how you start to put together your estate or your lifestyle to protect yourself from financial predators. Don't ever get it twisted. We live in a very expensive world today. And everybody wants a piece of you for nothing. They want your money. Don't ever get it twisted. Okay? Some preach love, some preach marriage. And you can get caught up with that kind of stuff. But they want your money. They want your money. To own stuff out there, to buy stuff, it is very expensive. And so what has not changed over the years in relationship is people desiring someone else because of their financial status. Financial status would never change, because money is the answer to all things. Money answers all problems. Money solves almost every problem except for sickness. The only problem money can't solve is sickness. You sick, money can't help you. Okay, but anything else money will help you with. Let's move on, folks. You need 5 lawyers. You need 5 lawyers on your team. You need a family lawyer. You need a real estate lawyer. You need a business lawyer if you have business. You need an estate lawyer. And you need a fire-ass lawyer to do lawsuits in case somebody pisses you off. To do lawsuits. 5 lawyers you need. Now, some of these things I mentioned, some lawyers do 2 or 3 of them. So sometimes you don't need 5 lawyers, but you need 5 lawyers, 5 objectives, 5 things need to get solved properly. And if you want specific, then you find a lawyer who's very specialized in something very specific, like an estate planning or estate lawyer or a lawsuit lawyer. I don't want my lawsuit lawyer doing estate planning. I want it to be separate. I don't want my estate lawyer doing real estate law. I want my real estate lawyer to be real estate lawyer. I don't want to mix them up together. It's very important. Okay? And it's very important that you start this stuff at the beginning. The longer you take to put these things in place is the more expensive it gets as you move forward. What is happening here tonight? The divorce economy. The divorce economy. Now, let's assume it costs you anything between $25,000 to $30,000 to get married. Okay? $25,000 to $30,000 to get married. It actually will cost you 4 to 5 times that amount to get divorced. You guys know that? It costs you 4 to 5 times that amount to get divorced. Divorce is very, very expensive. And that's why it's important that when you're going to embark on cohabitating or commingling or getting married, you need to put the prenuptial agreement in place, the cohabitation agreement in place. You know, I was working on a family one year, and I literally see they throw away $150,000 just like that. Because they didn't want to be with each other anymore. They couldn't agree on anything else anymore. Just throw it away just like that. Sell a house. He bought a house. She bought a house. The lawyers get paid on both sides. Breaking the mortgage, $25,000. Get them paying mortgage brokers another $15,000 each one of them, and so on and so on and so on. $150,000, bang, just like that. I sure didn't cost them that much to get married. If they had put things in place the right way, if they had contractual agreement, they could have saved a lot of money. They could have saved themselves a lot of time. Because everyone's afraid to do this stuff. Everyone's afraid to do prenuptial agreement because you get tricked either by your spouse, he or she, tell you stuff that you start believing. And the problem is when they change their mind, whether they want to be with you or not, you have no control over that. So everything you discuss goes right to the window. The only thing that matters is what's on paper. That's the only thing that matters. What's in writing. And if you don't have nothing in writing, then the province or the state or the country laws override if you don't have anything in writing. And then we have a different conversation. Then you lock things up in the courts. And he wants to make sure she doesn't get nothing. And she wants to make sure he don't get nothing. And all you're doing when you go through that process, folks, is pissing away your estate. It's pissing away the wealth that can transfer to the next generation. That's all happens when you do that. And I guarantee each one of you knows somebody that been to that situation already. You just thrown away your money to strangers. Because lawyers want you to fight against each other. That's how they make their money. Doctors want you to get sick. Because that's how they make their money. Okay? They're fighting all the time. So I'm in front of you today because I changed many relationships because I had prenuptial agreement in place. I had cohabitation agreement in place to protect my money. Because every time, I'm telling my own experience, because every time I failed in a relationship, I would lose a ton of money. I would lose a ton of money. So what you want to do when you want to become rich, the first you start is modeling what the rich do. What the rich do, you protect the money first. Every single time. You protect the money. I was talking to a client of mine a few years ago, and she sold a house and make a ton of money. Then she decided to remarry. Within 24 months, they started having problems in the relationship. We can't control that. That happens anytime. We can't control when problem comes. Within 24 months, problem in relationships start happening. Sitting on over $800,000 in equity in a house. Our broke husband that came into the marriage is entitled to 50% of that. Here you are, working for years as a single mom, bought a property, make a ton of money, and she's scared to get divorced because she understands if she get divorced, what's going to happen? The assets get split. She's living terribly, upset, miserable every day. Relationship not working, but if you leave, money gone as well. $1,500 would have saved that, all that drama. $1,500 would have saved those problems. Very important. You put this stuff in place. What else we're talking about? Again, I'm going to repeat myself again. Every time you divorce, you reset yourself 5 to 10 years backwards. You're starting over. And that's the problem with the marriage institution. People are not getting married until death do us part anymore. And you guys got to realize this. 50% going to be divorced in a short time frame. And more and more and more. Okay? They're not getting married till death do us part. So you cannot go into relationships and marriage today thinking that you don't need this prenuptial agreement or cohabitation agreement because your objective is not the same as the person coming in. No, everybody's happy because love is in the air. We're happy for today. As we move on, they're saying if you last the first 5 years, you're doing good. If you get past the first 5 years, great. And after that, if the problem doesn't come, you're good to go. You going. I'm not against relationship, I'm not against love, I'm not against marriage. What I'm against is people resetting and restarting all the time and giving away your wealth. Okay? And if you're with your husband and wife for 25, 30 plus years and you're enjoying it, ignore everything I'm saying tonight. But what I'm talking about and who I'm really addressing is the 12 to 24 months and the 5 year less people. Resetting, you have short-term disturbance in your relationship. And it's affecting your wealth. And it's not a male thing, it's not a female thing, it's a people thing. Okay? Any questions, folks? Any questions? I'll try to answer some of your questions if you have any. If not, we're just going to move on and keep going here. We should be wrapping up soon anyways. So again, if you're looking for a lawyer, to help you set up your estate the right way, if you're looking for a lawyer to do a prenuptial or postnuptial agreement, I can hook you up with some of the folks that I work with and who I know is really good. And it depends on your situation. We can have 3 types of prenuptial agreement. We can do just a mutual prenuptial agreement where everybody agrees. We can do asset protection. We can also get you involved in what we call a one-sided prenuptial agreement. That means it only favors the person who have the most asset coming in. Okay? So if you want to marry somebody who's broke and have no money, it's okay because you love that person. I'm not trying to change your mind from loving people, but you want to make sure your assets get protected because the person who's coming in with the least amount will benefit the most. We do something called a one-sided prenuptial agreement or a one-sided cohabitation agreement. So if that person want to have a short-term disruption in your relationship, he or she walk away with 0. 0, 0, 0. They don't touch your assets. And that's because you put things in place. Very important. 0. Okay? If you're with your spouse 25 plus 30 years, he or she deserves something. They live that long with you, deserve some form of your wealth. But the short-term disruption is what we're concerned about tonight. And we seem to have a lot of short-term disruption these days. Every time they come to my office, they complain, they don't like their wife, they don't like their husband, they want to divorce their wife, they want to divorce their husband, and that's bad for money. You cannot plan an estate if you're divorcing. When you're emotionally unstable, you become financially unstable as well. Money does not grow in an emotional unstable environment. Money does not multiply in an unstable financially environment. More important, folks, trust. Trust is the new currency. We have a major trust problem going on these days. Major trust problem. Nobody trusts each other. They claim they do. They don't trust each other. That's why you got to go to your husband's phone. That's why you have to go to your wife's phone because you don't trust that he or she's doing the right thing on your behalf. That's why you have a password on your Facebook account. Some of you guys, when you get off of this Facebook Live or Instagram Live, your phone will lock right up and you become password protected. Trust. You know what I'm saying? Trust. Trust is a new currency. Trust is a new currency. Because that's what's lacking in the world today. You don't trust your pastors. You don't trust your politicians. You don't trust your presidents. Nobody trusts each other. Everybody's just uneasy and unstable and waiting for something bad to happen because they're lacking trust. Trust is a new currency. The person that's able to win trust among everyone will become a billionaire overnight. Trust. It's very important. Your phone lock up all the time. Your email account lock up all the time. What are you doing? But you're in a marriage. You have separate bank accounts from your spouse. What's going on? Or your money is different, yeah? We own half the house together, but your bank account is separate. Yeah, that's the amount of trust we have. Okay? If you can't trust a person with your money, you shouldn't be married to them. Very simple. If you can't trust them with your money, you shouldn't be married to them. Because your money is what controls your emotions. If you can't trust them with your money, don't get married. Don't get married. If they can't trust themselves with money, don't marry to them. That's why you need to do a credit check on anyone you get involved with. Check their credit. If you have a problem paying bills, you're going to steal from your spouse because you're stealing from a total stranger. You're stealing from the banks. You're stealing from the credit card company. You're stealing from these people. You're going to steal from your husband or wife. You have a credibility problem. You don't like to pay. It's very important. You don't like to pay money. You like to borrow, like to take things you want to pay back. You have a credibility issue. Trust. If you can't trust a person with your money, don't ever get married to them. You have lots of issues moving forward. We're resetting too much. When you reset, it costs you money. You can't afford to have that stuff happening. So tonight, folks, I want you to take away from this. It's very important that you get yourself a prenuptial agreement or postnuptial agreement if you don't have one already. I'm not a lawyer. I can't even do one for you. I can give you brief information and point you in the direction of the right people. Cohabitation agreement. A lot of you folks are building wealth or building and creating assets. And it's very important that you protect those assets. Because when you fail in a relationship and you give away your assets, you're failing the next generation. The money that you split with your spouse or husband and wife and you get thrown to the lawyers and all these people, that money could have sent your child to a university. It could have paid for your son or daughter's first wedding. You're losing money every time you reset. I see my friends in their 50s and 60s getting divorced. I'm thinking, bro, where you going? Hey, where you going? You're splitting assets. You're taking away the family's wealth. Very, very bad for money. Okay, you buying a house in your 50s and your 60s. You're buying it at 3-4 times the price you would have bought it when you're in your 20s and 30s. Because that's how quick and fast the market is moving up. Protect the assets, protect the money. My name is Frank Corbin. I'm your real estate mentor, wealth builder, helping you build wealth for the next generation. My direct line is 647-237-3642. You see it in the comment thing there. If you have any questions, if you need a lawyer, I got lots of them. I say you only need 5, I can give you 20. Because lawyers like hunting dog. When something happens, you throw money in front of them and they go running for you. They protect your money. Okay? But more important, let them do it ahead of time, before the disaster happens. Let the lawyer protect your money before the disaster happens. And you can never go wrong. Money will be transferred to the next generation if it gets positioned right. My name is Frank Corbin. The business behind marriage. The business behind marriage is to protect the money, because the divorce economy is extremely high. And you don't want to be in that situation. And if you do, you want to make sure you still have money to transfer to the next generation. To your success. See you then. Thank you for watching. The business behind marriage. You can't go wrong when you protect the money. Money buys you confidence. Money can even buy you love. Depends who you're trying to love. But when you're broke, hell is on you. I think poverty is a curse for poor people, man. You're poor and you're broke and you don't want to become rich. I feel sorry for you, man. Not only you, your next generation. Terrible place to be in. I know we all can't get rich. We all can't become successful. But you can do better than you're doing right now. It's a disaster. All my life I see poor people get taken advantage of. All my life I've seen it. Very bad position. You want to get rich. You want to make lots of money. You want to be successful. You want to have to teach your kids how to teach their kids how to make money, how to protect money, how to transfer wealth to the next generation. You can't go wrong with that. Where there's love, you don't need money. You heard that before? We love each other. Who needs money anyways? Until you decide to get divorced. Then everybody run to the lawyers to protect the money. I told you it's 2018. All we talking about is wealth. All we talk about is building wealth. All we talk about is protect generational wealth. So we can talk about things you like. We can talk things you don't like. And that's the way it goes, man. Money is the root of all evil. You heard that before? The evil one always run for the money first, isn't it? They run to the lawyer. Who does that the most? The person that's broke. They run to protect the money. If you're a star, let me be the one to you want in me. Where there's love, you don't need money. Where there's money, you do need love. All right, folks. Frank Corbin, I'm signing out. To your success. See you then.